Banana, I'm broke. Banana, I can't afford the thing that you mentioned in your last video. Oh my goodness, guys. There are so many questions about money-making methods in my comments on my videos because a lot of the stuff that I talk about requires a tiny bit of Hypixel Skyblock coin. It may seem like a difficult thing for making money in the game, but in this video, I'm going to set a perfect path that pretty much anyone can go down to make some buku bucks and to finally become one of the big boys in money. I'm going to have a more early game method, a mid game method, and the late game pinnacle method of money making that you could ever use. So if this video helps you out, I'd really appreciate a like or a subscription. I'm on the way to 60K and it would be super pog if I got there. But before we get to that, let's talk about this video's sponsor, Yahaha Studios. Yahaha is a new user-generated content creation platform for some epic multiplayer experiences. With Yahaha, literally anyone can make and publish their own stuff, even a Skyblock sweat like myself. Seriously, no coding experience is required to use Yahaha. Simply use the components and smart assets in the studio to make the greatest games of all time. There's a library of millions of 3D assets that are ready to use. These assets are stored in a cloud drive as well, so they can be real-time streamed whenever you need them. Whenever you're done polishing up your magnum opus, your greatest game ever, you can publish it with a simple one-click publish, and people across mobile or PC will be able to access and enjoy your game with multiplayer cross-platform. So what are you waiting for? Click the link below and let your creative juices fly on Yahaha's early access for free today. Now, let's get into some Skyblock money methods. Alright guys, I'm gonna warn you right now, these methods aren't going to be revolutionary. They're not gonna be the most new thing in the game to you, but they are going to be the best of the best. If you are an early game player, I'm talking you have just recently started the game, maybe you got a few talismans, maybe you bought some gear off of the auction house with the coins that you made from mining wheat or just leveling up your skills a little bit. If you're that level of player, the best money making method has been and still is Zealots. I know Zealots can be kind of cringe. There are definitely very optimal setups that some people use. If you're running around with young armor and a frozen scythe or a juju bow or something along those lines, you're able to kill these really fast. But even if you're not getting that many kills an hour, let's say you're able to pull something like 800 kills an hour. That means you're going to average about 2 eyes, only like 1 million coins. That's still going to be more consistent and better than the other money-making methods that are available at this area. Things that you want to prioritize, obviously you want to deal 13,000 damage whenever you're hitting these Zealots because you want to be able to one-shot them. This shouldn't be difficult. Just get your talismans set up right. If you're using a physical thing, get some strength and crit damage. If you're using magic like a frozen scythe or like an aurora staff, which is a pretty good item for killing Zealots, use some intelligence, but you want to get 13,000 damage, and past that, you want to be moving around as fast as possible. You want to be able to hop between these spawns as quick as you can. Teleporting with something like an aspect of the end is super nice, but seriously, you're just killing Zealots and hoping for summoning eyes. This is the most boring style of money method. It's existed since August of 2019. But damn if it isn't a good money-making method. People still run it for a reason and use this to just get a little bit of money, you know, 1 million an hour, 2 million an hour, however much you can get, and then you're going to move on to the next method. For the mid-game money methods, I'm going to pose a couple options because all of these are decent, but they require some different things in the game. I'm going to recommend one of them more strongly than the other, but first let's just look at farming a little bit. One, cocoa bean farms are very good for money-making methods, apparently. I haven't tried this myself, but if you get a cocoa chopper, you get a high farming level, this is just something that's going to make money. It's not that long of a build, and it's pretty good. The one thing is you need farming XP to do this, and having high farming XP is not very synonymous with the mid-game of the game, so I'm not going to fully go in on recommending this, but it is pretty good nonetheless. Another farm that I would recommend doing, sugarcane. This is going to get you that XP, and it is going to make a decent amount of money. So both of these methods I don't know the exact rates myself. I just know that they are very solid methods. They're going to progress you in the game, and they're just going to make the bucks. I'm pretty sure if you're just going for money, you should use a cocoa bean farm. If you are going for XP and money, sugarcane is the best thing in the game. I loved mining sugarcane when I did it. It's a very simple farm because you just press a couple buttons. You can watch YouTube while you're doing it. It's really nice in that way, but I don't think that these methods are the ones you should go with. And this next one is in the Crystal Hollows because it's not a banana money-making method video without talking about a little bit of mining. I'm not going to talk about gemstones, however, right now. I'm going to talk about this gold in the Mines of Divin. There should be a Mines of Divin in every server. I know that it used to be bugged where it didn't spawn one. That bugs could still exist. But the Mines of Divin have a lot of gold in them. Mineral armor allows you to mine a lot of gold. If you find a lobby with a very, very full Mines of Divin like this, where all of the gold is still here, you can seriously just go to town with your best drill, pickaxe, or whatever in mineral armor, and you can make a bunch of money. If you have a really bad powder setup, you can make somewhere around 6 to 8 million coins an hour from this. But if you have a banger setup, if you have the max setup, this can make like 20 million coins an hour. So getting the mineral armor setup isn't going to be super tough, and getting the stuff to be able to just do this bare bones as basic as possible also won't be tough. But I do recommend that you get at least a little bit of powder grinding in before you do something like this, because seriously, investing in powder is investing in future money. It may seem boring, it may seem like a waste of time because you're not making much as you're doing it, but I swear it's going to help you out so much in the long run. So dwarving gold is going to be an option you can go with. Another method that I want to mention in this tier, the mid-game tier, that I don't really know the rates of is worm fishing, because worm fishing got nerfed with the 0.14 update because fishing speed got nerfed, but it's not really known what the rates are going to be like because worm fishing is currently bugged. So worm fishing could still be super good. Before the update, it was making like 12 million coins an hour, and it wasn't an obscene setup to use. But now I have zero idea what it's actually going to make with the nerfed fishing speed. It could make literally 0 coins, could make like 20 mil an hour because worm prices are up. So yeah, that's another option. Once you've done one of these mid-game methods for a while, you have like 100, 200, 300 million coins or something, then you can try and progress onto one of the big boy tiers, one of the better money-making methods in the game. There's basically 2 schools of thought that I have when it comes to later game money-making methods. One of them is to just hard send into one form of combat or another. One of those being dungeons. If you want to just start doing dungeons and just sending into it, you can make a load of money, especially with the new RNG meter, by just hopping into here. You can do floor 7 if you want to make money from there. If you can't do floor 7, floor 6 is still going to make decent money with Giant Sword. But these master mode floors are really where I think the big bucks are going to start coming in, because something like M3 isn't super difficult, but you're able to get a recom, you're able to get this master star, and these aren't going to take an insane amount of XP to actually get. You can see I'm at like a 5% chance to get my master star right now, and that is straight up easy. So seriously, you can go into any of these dungeon floors and just start going ham and just making money from there if you want to do that. Let's say you don't want to do dungeons. Well, another option in combat is doing Slayer. Some of the Slayers are pretty bad. Tarantula, Sven, Rev, you're not going to make a huge amount of money, but if you use the money that you got from your other stuff to get an Enderman setup, you can possibly start making money by getting RNGs here. You could get a Judgment Core, you could get an Ender Artifact Upgrader. These things are going to make you money, and it's just going to be a solid, not very consistent RNG heavy way to just go and get bucks. Another way is Inferno Demon Lord. This is absolutely super endgame, but these are still going to be methods that are possible, especially with the new RNG meter. The last method that I want to touch on in the combat tier of things is going to be ghosts, and that's because ghosts are good. They have been good. You just hit them to get sorrows. It's not a very particularly difficult method, but it is something that requires coins. You're going to need something like a giant sword, maybe. You're going to need good crimson armor is probably what you end up going with, and you're just going to need stuff that's going to make you deal high damage. So once again, this is a very late game money making method, but it's just going to be something that is also going to progress you as well, because you're going to get combat XP from this. You're going to be able to level pets from this, and it's just going to be nice. So ghosts are another option for you. The other method, and the method that I have used much more in my Skyblock playtime, is gemstone mining. I know I talk about it, I swear I talk about it once every 3 videos, but gemstone mining is so good, because the thing about gemstone mining is the money that you're making is to an NPC. The bazaar price might be higher, so you could sell the bazaar, but there is a floor for these prices, and that is the NPC value, meaning that this isn't going to fluctuate a lot. If you're making 30 mil an hour, which is about what you can make with a max setup, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on your lag and, as I said, your setup. But if you're making that 30 mil an hour, you're always going to be making that 30 mil an hour. Handles can drop to literally 0 coins because admins add more ways to get them or something. Gemstones aren't going anywhere unless they literally nerf the price of them again, and I seriously don't see that happening. So going and leveling up your Heart of the Mountain to 7, leveling these perks by just powder mining for like 40 hours, it's going to be worth it, because it makes you able to have the most consistent, easy, brainless, non-competitive money-making method in the game. I mean, I swear, I have barely ran into someone at my Ruby coordinates. I don't really share them with people, but they do exist. And even if you just go to the Mines of Divin and try and mine Jade, it's pretty rare that you're going to run into someone if it's not a fiesta. You're going to make a lot of money doing this. It's going to be consistent, and it's just going to be so brainless. No thoughts have to be had. You don't have to sweat like Dungeons. You don't have to sweat like Slayer. You're literally clicking on glass blocks and making 30+ million coins an hour. It's as simple as that. That is going to be my money-making method progression in Hypixel Skyblock. Let me know what you guys think about this progression. Is there a method that you do that I didn't mention? Do you think that one of my methods is absolutely terrible? Let me know down below, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Peace out.